Okay, so now let's get into pop roster and our first topic. Cardi B wins a history-making defamation lawsuit against a malicious YouTuber. I know, Crystal, you've been following this.
I have, yes,
so,
absolutely.
I mean, let's get in with your perspective to give us a little bit of setup as to what this lawsuit was all about.
Okay, well, the malicious YouTuber, we can call her that because it's been deemed that she defamed Cardi B. Her name is Tasha K. She has a YouTube channel called Unwind with Tasha K. And I've seen some of her programs. I mean, I don't follow her necessarily. She's very loud and she's very rude and she's really tabloid-esque. And a couple of years ago, 2-3 years ago, she was just dragging Cardi B. She was saying some super outlandish things about her. For example, that Cardi B had herpes, that Cardi B had passed herpes on to the daughter that she had, Culture, and that it's just many, many gross and indecent things about Cardi B. And Cardi actually sent her cease and desists. I think she sent a few cease and desists to Tasha K. And I remember seeing Tasha K on YouTube saying, I'm going to wipe my ass with this. This is what I'm going to do with this cease and desist. I'm going to wipe my ass with it. And just absolutely gave no regard for Cardi B. So Cardi B sued her for defamation, casting a false light, and libel, I think, and claimed that she lost money and also that she sustained medical injury, like emotional injury from all of the things that Tasha K was saying. And apparently this went to trial. Obviously this went to trial in the last few months. Tasha K on the stand admitted that she made up these stories about Cardi B, who had to go and get tested to prove that she didn't have this STI and prove that none of this was true. Tasha K finally admitted that she had lied about it and she did it for entertainment purposes and value and felt that it was okay because Cardi B was a star. Cardi B is a public figure and people should be able to say things about public figures for entertainment value. Well, the jury did not agree. And apparently throughout this entire trial, the judge was admonishing the defense, Tasha K and her lawyers, settle this. You should settle this because I assume it's not looking good for you, Tasha K, and it's in your best interest to do so. Tasha K refused to settle it. It went to the jury. The jury awarded Cardi B $1.25 million of general damages for the things that Tasha K said. I think an additional $250,000 for her medical bills and for the treatment that Cardi B underwent as a result of emotional distress, and then took an additional day to and lawyers' fees, which I think were like $1 million something for Cardi B, and then I think $1.2 million for punitive damages for a total judgment of like $3.8 million, almost $4 million of damages that Tasha K is going to have to pay. Now, I watched Tasha K's subsequent statement on YouTube. She came out and she was absolutely unapologetic, not remorseful. She said she's going to appeal it and she's going to continue to fight this verdict. I don't know why, because I don't know where I'm not in her pockets. I'm not in her coins, but like, that's a lot of money. I mean, I guess you could appeal to try and get that judgment lowered, but like to continue to fight it, you're just going to continue to spend money because whatever. I remember when I was married to my second husband, who's an attorney, he said that the defendant always pays more than the plaintiff for whatever reason because of the cost of the defense, waging a defense. So I'm assuming Tasha K has had to pay at least as much as Cardi B for lawyers' fees, and her fees are over $1 million. So I don't know where all this money is coming from. Why would you fight it? Because you obviously did wrong.
Yeah, you admitted to it on the stand. So it is now part of testimony. It's in the record. It's not a sealed record. Everybody knows, and you're going to fight it. That is completely asinine, in my opinion. And here's the thing. If you heard or you read somewhere that Cardi B had herpes and you felt like we do a podcast, we talk about pop culture, we could have very easily mentioned it. But I would have, and you would have, of course, stated allegedly, this is what was printed where, said where, whatever. And that's fine because you one are saying, we don't know if this is true. We are just sort of reporting what was read out there. But she almost, it felt almost like she waged a personal like vendetta against Cardi B. And for what? And why? I mean, Cardi B's wild and crazy and wacky, and you got to love that personality, because she does not give any F's to anyone about anything, and she lives life on her own terms unapologetically, and that's great. But why would you feel the need to go in and attack her? I feel like you don't like her for some reason, and after you've admitted that you lied, you're still doubling down on, well, I'm going to fight this. Like, why?
On what grounds?
What is the lesson that she needs to learn? What is her karma in all of this? Because now you are just further perpetuating this cycle of dark negative energy, and now you're taking Cardi B, who's going to have to go through this all again.
Yep. And you know what this has done? And I'm on YouTube. I have a YouTube channel. I don't do this type of commentary, obviously, well, except for our YouTube channel now, but I have my own YouTube channel, Crystalline Compton. But I'm up on YouTube culture. I kind of know what's happening in the YouTube streets, and it really is sending a shot across the bow for all of these investigative YouTube journalists who routinely malign people and come out with stories. And there's a few of them who've come out with stories on celebrities or on YouTube celebrities even, and they just make things up, and they try to eviscerate these people. And there's actually one person in particular, she goes by Without a Crystal Ball. Her name is Katie Joy Paulson, and she was actually okay, let me back this up a little bit. There is a YouTube celebrity named Tati Westbrook. I'm not sure if you know who this is. Anyway, she's a cosmetics mogul, and she would do makeup tutorials, and she's very famous. I think she's got like 5 million followers. And she went into business with someone, and that business went sour, and her former business partner reached out to this Without a Crystal Ball person and started planting stories about Tati. And so she would release all these videos about Tati with all of these crazy allegations, unsubstantiated. She received many cease and desists from Tati Westbrook and her husband, and she likewise was just like, I'm a journalist, so I'm going to continue to say whatever I want. And she was sued as well, and ultimately settled. And I think what they settled for was her turning on her former business partner. So it's like this whole thing. But what I'm saying is, for those bloggers out there and those YouTube commentary channels who make stuff up or don't substantiate things or say things knowingly that they know are false, this is a warning. And YouTube, I think, has a responsibility here. Like, what about the videos that Tasha K has of Cardi B? Because those videos are still up.
Yeah.
And YouTube should step in and either remove those videos and or remove Tasha K's channel. I'm not for deplatforming people, but if you're using your platform to maliciously malign people, then why is YouTube supporting that? Because YouTube's making money from that too.
Absolutely. And I mean, even recently, on a side sort of topic, but Spotify is under fire right now because of Joe Rogan's podcast apparently allegedly disseminating false information about COVID-19.
Well, that's a whole different Oprah to me, though.
Right. But I mean, Spotify stood behind and said, no, there's not enough here to do that. But now artists are pulling their music off of Spotify.
Well, Neil Young is, and Neil Young threatened to, and then Spotify did their investigation and said, well, there's not enough. No, we're not going to deplatform Joe Rogan because you don't like the guest that he brought on. And so they removed Neil Young's music. But then now I think Neil Young wants it back on Spotify. And so they're bringing it back or something because it was 60% of all the money that Neil Young made.
Yeah.
So they take this grandstand. But then when it comes down to it and Spotify's like, I'm not going to remove that. Oh, well, now put my music back up.
Yeah. And like my thing is with that is, there is this line. Now, Joe Rogan has his own fan base, and he gives information.
Huge.
Yeah, he's huge. And so people that follow him will believe that. Now, I don't listen to it, so I don't know if there's allegedly or whatever, or these are my opinions. But if you're just giving an opinion and you have your proper disclaimers and you're stating allegedly and whatever, you're pretty much covered.
Yep.
But when you're just out there maligning people, and
lying
and admitting that you're lying, I do believe, I believe that should have been part of this litigation, I think Cardi B should have, one of the stipulations should be that has to come down. And I do think, YouTube has some type of responsibility to look at that after your content creator has admitted that they lied and it's all fake. So I do feel there's some responsibility, and I don't believe everybody needs to be censored and canceled, but I believe you have to do it the right way, and you have to sort of report it in the right way with the right intention and the right disclaimers.
I mean, yes, yeah, and what she did was illegal. I mean, is it illegal? Does illegal mean crime? It's not a crime. This is a civil matter. But what she did, was certainly wrong.
Absolutely,
and
morally, ethically as well. Yeah, I mean, you lied. I mean, that's perjure, right? Because initially you said you didn't do it. That was your statement. That was your official statement to the court. Now you get on the stand and say that I lied. Could that be?
Did she perjure herself? Did she say initially that she didn't do it? I don't even know.
We'll have to maybe dig into that a little bit, because I thought she was standing behind. Well, maybe she was just standing behind her statements, but not necessarily. Maybe it isn't, because you're just sort of standing behind your lie.
Well, irrespective of what YouTube is going to do, I know that she has lost subscribers, not a ton of subscribers, and she's got, I think, about 1 million subscribers, and she'll get them back. But I know some sponsors have also dropped her, and if I were a sponsor, I would too, because why am I supporting a personality who's out here lying on other people? And, Cardi B, she's got F you money. It's not about the money for Cardi B. And so if she wants to take it to appeals, she should really think that through, because I think Cardi B has all the time in the world and all the money to go ahead and defend that verdict.
Absolutely.
I think it's just.